Lions TV, this is the Den Daily, bringing you all the latest gossip, views and transfer news from in and around the Den. Big news again this morning coming out from the Den via Richard Cowley and London News Online. He should get paid per mention, that guy, for his exposure in these videos. This is a contract negotiation. A Willie, won't he sign a deal? I'm not talking about Zak Wallace. I'm talking about Millwall's young star striker, Zak Lovelace. Of course, Lovelace made his debut during an injury crisis / pandemic last season away at Coventry, becoming Millwall's second youngest ever debutant at 15 years and something 100 days. How shit must you be? He's only 15. But that was no disrespect to him, the great song that was born that night at Coventry, because he's a very good player. He sort of bypassed the 23s in a sense, because, well, he did, because I watched the 23s avidly. I've done for the last 2, 3, 4 years, and he never once featured. He was sort of in the 18s, in the 16s, and as I've mentioned before, at the time I got told there's plenty of youngsters travelling tonight with a squad and they're going to be named on the bench. One of them's a young striker. Before the team sheet come out, I assumed that was Tyrese Briscoe or someone else. I didn't even know Lovelace was, and he's been brought to the forefront by the club. Was that a little bit of a publicity to push his profile? Well, yes and no, because of course with social media these days and the amount of exposure that players get across all divisions and non-league, it will attract the attentions of the so-called bigger clubs. I think Leicester City's name was thrown into the hat. Of course, Glasgow Rangers allegedly are sniffing around him. If he was to go north of the border, I don't know the exact ins and outs of it. However, the compensation we would get is less. And when I say compensation, I'm referring to any player that's at a club under the age of whatever it is, I'm not sure, they will have to be compensated. There's no Bosman ruling in place where they can just leave the club and move on to another one. The club in question would have to be compensated, and I believe that, that's why we've had the Abdul Malik saga before. That's why he didn't move on, because people didn't want to pay his fee for compensation. And I believe what's happened to us before, we've seen a couple of our youngsters over the years go to Man City and Mill compensated heavily for their troubles. But getting back to Lovelace as a player, like I said, look, not our place at all. Hasn't scored for the first team yet, but definitely you can see the potential there. Gary Rowett has said that he wants to keep Lovelace at the club. That's his end goal. And he's also said he wants to bring him in and he wants to keep him as a permanent fixture for the first team squad this season. However, Gary Rowett did allude to in his interview once again with Richard Cowley that this is what happens. The bigger clubs come sniffing and it's very hard to keep hold of your talent. That's a bit of a segue to me that he may, the writing is on the wall. But ultimately, it boils down to Zak Lovelace, and I was going to say his advisors. He must have, well, he has got an agent. He's also, his parents will be involved at his young age. And of course, he's still at school. I think he goes to school in Dulwich. So it must be crazy times for him. And if he makes the decision that isn't right, in my opinion, then, that's life, that's football, and he may live to regret that or not. Moving on, only he will know. But it's a difficult time for the youngster mentally. Let's remember that as well. He's going to have pressure. He's going to have people wanting a slice of him here, there, and everywhere. What do I think he'll do? If I'm honest, I think he'll leave the club. And I'm basing that on, if I'm honest again, partly my sense of it, what's going on, and partly because, and again, I don't know anything concrete, but I do speak to people in the know and people I won't mention, and things I won't say on this video, but I get the feeling that he's getting touted about and he will be leaving the club. Will that be in his best interest? I would say no, but of course I'm going to say that. I'm a Millwall fan. I want to see him here. I think if he stays next season, especially with the current state of our squad attacking-wise, I think he'll get opportunities and I think he can thrive. You see it so often. I mean, take, for example, those two youngsters that went to Man City. Where the fuck are they? This is what happened. People try and walk before they can run, and I think that absolutely the best thing for Lovelace is to stay put, sign a contract at Millwall. Okay, he won't be getting the money that he may be at the Rangers of this world, at the Man Cities of this world, or whoever else is interested in him, but you want a career in football. You don't want to go up there, sign the millions, be a forgotten man. It would be nice, of course it would, but he's a sportsman. He's successful, he's driven, and he wants to play football and have a career. So for me, the best thing for him would to be sign for us. But listen, Gaffer, I'll sign. I want guaranteed games next season. I want guaranteed 15, 20 starts. Test Millwall. If you say, okay, if you're serious about me, I'll commit to you, but I want this. I want wages-wise this. And he's a youngster. He's not going to be asking for the earth, or maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know his agent, or maybe I do. But look, he wants to play football. Ultimately, for me, the absolute ideal scenario for us as fans and for him is to stay put, learn your trade, and say to the club, as I said, you guarantee me games and I'll stay. And I'll sign that contract, and then he can move on when the time's right, if he does progress, like we all believe he will do. But do I think he'll stay? Someone asked me that on social media. I don't think he will, if I'm honest. I hope he does, and we need him. We need the players. And as I said, homegrown talent, you know, what you spend on his wages is less than you'll go out and take a risk on buying somebody you don't know that might not work out. So for me, I'd definitely keep him. Do I think he'll stay? If I'm honest, no. I'm not sitting on the fence on this one. And let me know what you think. Would you like to keep Lovelace? Where do you think he will go? In the comments below. That's video 2 today for the Den Daily. Could be more to come. I don't know. I've got the time. If the stories evolve, then I'll be all over them. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.